Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of China Mail. This is the sixth installment of this series. So let's kick things off with some of these items that arrived in the mail recently. Okay, something that I've been waiting in the mail for a while now. Actually, this is the second time I've ordered. This is the first time the original person I ordered it from got lost in the mail, so I've had to order it again. But basically, these are 10 soldering tips for my soldering station that I have, and each of them are different. You can see this one has a bit of a flat end, and then you get different types. This one is a bit more sharper, but basically these are actually used to replace. So I bought a generic 936 soldering station that I actually bought off Aliexpress. I need to do a review of that at some point, but I've been using it for a while now. It has been perfect, but I noticed the soldering tip is getting a bit burnt. So I bought a few of these. So I'm just going to try and replace this now quick and see how this works. Oh, there we go. Cool, and that's it. So I obviously need to test this and see how this which soldering head will be the best for the stuff I'm soldering. But there we go. This was a pack of 10 for $3.66. Okay, next one on the list is it's a little battery BMS board that I picked up, or a battery management system. This is meant for a lithium-ion 18650 battery cell, and the cool thing about this is basically when you're using 3 of them in series, so any application that you need to use 12 volts, you can use one of these boards to make sure that the individual cells don't over discharge, and there's also overcharge protection, and it prevents it from discharging too much. So what happens is you can feed power into this board, and it can charge each of the cells. So if you get a bit close here, you can actually see where the positive and negative terminals go for each battery, and they actually have solder connections in the back. So I use this board on a little 12-volt battery pack that I'm using to power a Bluetooth speaker. So there's my 3 of them in series. This isn't very neatly done. It was just a very quick project that I needed to get working. So I used this exact same board, and what this does is it prevents, so if I'm using this battery pack on the Bluetooth speaker, it won't, if any of these batteries voltage drops below 2.9, I think, this board will pick that up and prevent, it'll stop power being drawn from all of the batteries. Similarly, once these, if you're charging, so you can actually feed, I think it's about 12.6 volts into the battery, the BMS, and what it'll do is it'll charge these 3 cells, and once one of them reaches 4.2, it'll stop charging. So this doesn't do balance charging. It's just mainly for over voltage protection and over discharge protection. Very, very handy. It only costs $2.22, and very useful, especially if you have a lot of 12 volt projects that you want to work with. Cool. I have another little interesting item that arrived, colorful item at least, that arrived in the mail, and this is a 328 piece heat shrink, or an assortment of heat shrink. So basically these, I mean, if you're working with electronics and you're soldering all the time, these are a must-have. So if some of you guys don't know how heat shrink works or what it's actually used for, is if you have 2 solder joints that you need to you insulate and to prevent the live wires from being exposed, you put the heat shrink over and you heat it with some flame. Usually a quick and easy one is just to use like a lighter or something. The more professional way of doing it is using a heat gun, of course, but those are a bit expensive. And I mean, for the stuff I'm doing, I don't mind using just a lighter to to shrink these. This cost for assortment, I mean, there's 328 different pieces here, but they different sizes, different lengths. Well worth the price. I'd say it's $4.34. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is gonna last me it's gonna last me quite a few projects. Okay, another interesting one that I've seen very popular online, and I said I must get one of these. It's a USB meter. They call it from the listing. It was a mini charger doctor voltage current meter. Anyway, this is pretty cool, especially when you're if you have quite a few power banks and you want to test, or just a general USB and you want to test, what's its actual voltage coming out under load and current. So to show you an example, let me get one of these. Let me get my trusty LED light. Keep that over there. Yeah, let's do that there. And so how it works is I'll plug it into this power bank, like so, and there we go. You can actually see it lights up pretty well. It's quite a nice clear display. I must say the quality is quite good. And once you, it's reading 5.23, 5.5 or so, 5.25, sorry. And then if I plug in this load to it, cool, so this lights up pretty nicely. And let's see what reading we're getting here. So it's drawing about 100, about 120 milliamps. There you go. So it's taking about 120 milliamps. And it's actually quite cool if you want to measure over time what's the milliamp hours, how much of current is being drawn from this battery. I'm not quite sure if it's accurate enough to measure, if you want to test the actual lithium-ion cells inside these power banks. I'm not too sure about that, but definitely just to give you a nice reading of what's the voltage and the current that's been drawn from this. It also has a reset button that I'm assuming if I press and hold, it actually resets the milliamp hour little meter that they got going there. So yeah, I mean, this was $2.85. Very, very cool little USB meter or charge doctor or whatever they call it. Yeah, very useful. $2.83. Okay, the last item on this list. Let's have a look. This is a little 12-volt DC to DC boost converter. So this is actually used in quite a few of these, well, not this exact one, but it's a very similar concept. They're used in quite a few of these power banks. So basically you can give about 3.5 or 3.7 volts as input into this board, and it'll give you 5 volts out through this USB port. So I opened up this power bank just now, and if I take out this battery, you can actually see it has a similar sort of circuitry, but this has its micro USB. It has a micro USB port on it. This one is it doesn't have input for actually charging a device. It's just a boost converter, so you're just gonna give it about a 3.7 volts, and you'll be able to up the voltage to 5 volts. So this was cool. Also I thought about some power bank projects, but it can be used for a variety of any USB powered items, especially if you want to run them off a single lithium ion cell. Yeah, very cool board. I mean, this was 44 cents, and yeah, well worth it. I bought quite a few of these. Okay guys, that's it for this video, China Mail episode 6. Thanks for watching. I'm going to leave the seller listings in the description below. I hope you liked the video. Cheers.